East Barnard.
Yeah.
We moved down to tTaftsville. My father was in real estate, and at one time he had a store with groceries and so forth. And he lost his shirt because he used to let everybody and their brother that came down from the mountains and everything come and charge their groceries.
Oh.
And
good man.
Yeah, and they'd give him a hard store, and they didn't have any money, no groceries, and he'd charge the groceries to them. And then they were going to come in and pay him the next week. But what they'd do is take their money and go, when they had the money, to another store or something like that. And then that was the first time that we moved to tTaftsville. And then when I was in at that time I was in the first grade. And that's when I went to the one little schoolhouse in I keep saying East Bridgewater, but East Barnard. Then we went from there 3 years later, when I was in the third grade, back down to tTaftsville from the farm. And we had always somebody sitting at the table, or somebody that was stopped in or whatever, and no matter what, my father, you've got to stay and have dinner with us, or supper.
Wow. Your poor mother must have been cooking all the time.
Yeah, well, she was cooking, but she was not planning on having. We might have a bowl of corn chowder and some biscuits or something, but she knew she had somebody coming, especially somebody that was trying to buy a place or something, she'd want to have something maybe a little more special.
Right.
But that didn't work out with my father. And then after they leave, Dad is, how'd you like them? She said, "You damned old fool, you. Don't you invite anybody else here again to eat."
But he was just such a friendly guy.
Give him holy hell.
That's funny, yeah. But he was such a friendly guy that he just, I've never met him, but I heard how, nope, I never did, but I heard so many stories about how friendly he was.
Oh, yeah, he was very friendly.
Somebody told me that half the ladies in Woodstock liked him.
Oh, yeah, he used to keep them all happy. I don't mean...
Right, no, just sweet and friendly,
but, he used to keep them all...
smiling, and always had a joke for somebody.
And then in the center of Woodstock at the time, there was what they called the tavern, and that was the only bar room there was. And that was owned by a woman by the name of Rosie. I don't know her last name, but I know she was a big, tall blonde, a lot of makeup. And Dad would come back. We lived in tTaftsville, which was 3 miles below Woodstock, where the tavern was. And he'd come in and come barreling into the yard, and well, where you been this time? We went up to Woodstock. Yeah, well, what'd you do? Go to Rosie's?
Oh, your mother probably didn't like that. Yeah.
Well, that was their thing going. He didn't, of course, but he wouldn't do that, something like that. Not that.
No. Yeah.
But he was just a great guy.
Yeah.
And as far as having all the children, Mother, it all of a sudden, I'd heard it all my life, or that I remember of anyway, that when she was and him were growing up, getting married and got married, and she was popping kids out one after the other. And every time she was pregnant, they used to have like a community club meeting. It was the women in the small town of East Barnard. Yep. And they'd get together and maybe do some quilting or something like that, or sewing of some sort. And they used to talk about, and every time, see, my mother would be pregnant to go to the meeting, which was once a month. And there was this one woman, and she had one child, and she used to always make poking remarks at my mother because she had so many children. And so every time they'd have their community club meeting, Luna, her name was Luna Moore, and she would say, "My God, Merle, are you pregnant again?" And my mother, she put up with it for quite a few times. And I guess she got kind of sick of it. So it was one time when this came about of her saying this to Luna. She says, "Listen to me, Luna Moore." She said, "You know something? Harold and I don't do it any more times than you and Owen, or whatever his name was, Owen of... I don't know, Elmer, or what the hell his name was." And she said, "But we just made more times count." And she said, Mother said, "Luna, shut up." She never said one more remark to her about having all these kids. Because when you come from a big family, you get a lot of you know, people making remarks
Oh,
or
yeah.
you know
Yeah.
that you
So
know.
rude. It's none of their
But
business.
that's why it comes in that children are so cruel.
Yeah.
They don't mean to be, but
Yeah.
but anyways,
It's too funny.
we always had a great time.